Hello, hello, hello. Happy New Year to everyone today. I trust that you all had an incredible holiday season, festive time, relaxation time with your family, with your friends. I hope you had time to relax and rejuvenate. But as entrepreneurs, we know we still have some work to do as well. So we do enjoy our time with our family. We do take time for us, obviously. But we also have businesses to run because they are evergreen, they are organic, and when you have a business, it's essentially alive. Alive. It has its own life of its own. So there is that aspect of it. And today, I am excited for anyone who is joining in. It is one of those things where I was debating, should I come on live on the 1st of January? And I initially was not going to. However, I did decide to come on live because I know that there is so much value in today's topic, and it is actually a much needed value. So if you're looking at this live, great. Don't forget to add a comment, put in your questions if you have any. Also, if you're looking at the replay, also, put in your comments, ask questions, because today is a very, very important day for us. It's a brand new year. No, yeah, brand new day, brand new year. And we want to be unstoppable. Now, this year, if you're wrong in the new year, and regardless of where we are in the world, a lot of the things that is being talked about in this year is being the year of takeover, where now your presence, your dominance is showing forth, and your leadership and your style. Now, this is, there's all of these other factors that go into it, right? Also, they say this is a year of power. This is a power year. Why? Because it is with the number 9. And if you guys know anything about numbers, the value of it, the history of it, then you kind of understand the dynamics, the energetic field of it, as well as where you need to be. So there's also that aspect. I will say that for this year, when I started off over the holidays, I was actually looking at the business blueprint. And I'm excited to share this with all of you because it is important. And if you're tuning in or you're watching the replay, stay tuned till the end because I actually have a free gift for you. I have a very special surprise. It's a free gift. I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. I've been working really hard on that. So I think you guys will like it. So we will get right into it. Now, why should we have a business leadership blueprint in 2025? If you have a business, if you're new, if you've been in business 5 years, 10 years, you have to understand that having a blueprint for the year, similar to having your quarterly reports, having your financial reports for each quarter, is very necessary and exceptionally important. And the reason why this blueprint is important, especially when you're now starting the year, is that you have certain funds allocated financially, correct? For your business. You know exactly how much on average you're going to spend, recognizing that you need some space for either a bit more or less, right? So you have that leeway. But when it comes to your leadership, when it comes to your team building, most people forget this aspect. And today is a very good day on the first of the year. Most people are home, they're relaxing. Maybe they're at their having dinner with their family. I'm having dinner with my family later on. So I'm glad to be here with all of you today. But when you have your business and you've had it for a while, you want to start ensuring that you're making strategic moves. You have to make strategic moves in order for you to not only scale and grow, but for you to actually have a business. We can't just wing it anymore, or I'm going to try this, or I'm going to try that. Like there's a time and a space for that. But really, when you start the year off accordingly, when you start the year off properly, and you have a blueprint and a plan, it becomes easier for your team, whoever your team is. Maybe it's yourself right now. Maybe you have 5 people, 10 people, 20 people working for you. Who knows how many people are working with you? They can understand their role. They know what goal is. They see the ultimate goal that you share, but you've broken it down into these 4 quarters so that now it makes it easy for them to hit the goals. If you look at people in sales, anyone in sales, well, you have a business, you're in sales. So I'm talking to you, right? And also to myself. When you look at people in sales, they always have a goal. They'll have a goal for the month, they have a goal for the quarter, they have a goal for the year, whatever it is that goal is. And so when they have that goal, now it's broken down. So they are on the same page. Their team is on the same page. They're understanding that there are certain quotas that they have to meet. Similar to people in affiliate marketing. Perhaps they want to be district manager, regional manager, all of these different levels of things. And so they have to have a certain amount of people, they have certain goals. And so as a leader, uh, when you're leading your team, they also need to have certain metrics because you have to be able to track the ROIs. It is very, very important to track the ROIs. And I don't understand why people don't look at it from that perspective. But if you look at anyone, if you have someone that's doing your marketing for you or you're doing your marketing for yourself, your numbers matter. You need to understand the numbers. You need to understand what's working, what's not working, why it's not working, and all of these things. So it's very, very essential when you're with your team and the team building right now to have a leadership blueprint, to have that blueprint. And so today, these 4 quarters, we're going to be looking at that because it's going to help make it easier for you. It's going to help make it easier for your team. It's going to help make it easier for you to get the results that you need. It's going to help make it easier for you to not only get the results, but exceed the expectations and and really bring your team ever much more closer together. And I hope you guys actually like understand the value of that because when your team is working harmoniously, when they're in harmony, when everyone is connected in terms of understanding what the goal is and they're working towards something for a 90-day period or a 100-day period, whatever it is, it becomes easy. Now you can track things. Now you can see people growing, learning. It's easier when it comes uh, uh, to conflict resolutions because it's broken down in chunks. You get to see on your team and within yourself what someone's strength is and what it's not. Who needs help? Who doesn't need help? Why did you need help? And it gives you now the opportunity to get equip them. Now they already have the opportunity to be equipped so they can hit the targets. Now, am I just telling you guys this because I don't practice it? Absolutely not. I actually practice this myself. There are things that I have to accomplish. There are things and metrics. So if I am working on a particular project or in a different area in the business, and someone on my team is working on that, one of the first questions I'm always asking is, what is my ROI? What is the ROI? And I ask them this because I need them to be able to think. I need them to be able to grasp, and I need to know that they understand where we're going, what the vision is. Now I have my work to do, of course, and I do my part. I also need to understand that they can do their part too. And as we're growing, and I'm seeing some results, or some things might seem like it's not moving, but it really is, so on and so forth, depending on the path that you're taking. It becomes easy for us to track and to get the results that we actually need. And that's what you need in your business. 5 years if you're in, 10 years if you're in, even longer. You're looking at those top companies, that's what they're doing. They have a quarterly blueprint, not only for their finances, because their CFOs have to have it, but also for their leadership team. The CEOs have to meet with their senior exec teams and then they have to disperse it. What are our goals? What are the metrics? What are we going to hit? How are we going to target it? And then they're also right now, because leadership is so key. Leadership is key. It's an essential now, essentially, that they're being trained so that their team can perform. Everyone wants the high performance. How can they have the high performance without the burnout? So similarly with your team, wherever you are in your business, perhaps you're now starting off. This is a great way for you to start implementing and practicing. If you've been in business for a while, wow, what a great way for you to refine the process. So I just wanted to share that off before we start getting into quarter one. And for everyone that is tuned in, I want to say thank you so very much for tuning in today with me. There's over 200 of you online today. Ask me any questions that you may have. Put in something in the comment if you have a comment, and let's share and grow and build this community so that our business individually can thrive, can succeed. Quarter one. Now, one of the first parts, when you're looking at the first half of the year, the first 3-4 months, you need to look at reinventing your vision. Now, you're not doing this January 1st, okay? You already have to have this kind of pre-planned in a bit. And when I say reinventing your vision, it's you have your vision, but you're tweaking it to where you are in your business. You're aligning it to the new market trends. You're aligning it and refining it for your long-term strategy. So, for example, when you first started off your business, perhaps you were thinking to yourself, I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to be a lifestyle coach or a fitness coach, for example. Great. Wonderful. That is what you want to be. But when it comes to running it as a business, there are certain things you need to do. You need certain qualifications. You need to find out the stats, the numbers. Do people want this? What is your specialty? What are you so good at? Where is your value piece? And these are questions that you're going to be asking over and over yourself anyways. But then once you've refined that and you've reinvented, I'm using the word reinvention, but really just like innovative, right? You have to expand it. So with that expansion that's happening, you have your goal, but you're ensuring that you are aligning with what's happening in the market, what's happening with your clients. And so you see a lot of people throughout the year, one of the things that they do, and this is necessary, obviously, is they're working with coaches, they're working with mentors, right? Because their vision has grown. If your vision has stayed the same into that one spot of, okay, I'm only going to do fitness and I'm going to do one-on-one clients, for example, but it hasn't gone beyond that, then obviously your business is going to be stagnant. Perhaps you have a product, you sell, I don't know, pens or pencils or something like that. Well, the product is the same. So what makes your product different? Why should someone buy your product? So yes, it's because it's a good product or it's local and all of those things, but it doesn't explain why someone should actually buy your product. So now your vision has to be expanded beyond that. And you're recognizing that you're providing a service for someone. You have to think, why would my customer want this particular HB pencil? In my time, many, many moons ago, HB pencil was huge. Now, for this generation, Apple Pencil is the thing, right? Because they can write with the Apple Pencil. But regardless of where you are, so as you are reinventing or innovating and expanding on your original vision, you have to ensure that things are aligning in the market trend and in the space. And you have to do that because this keeps you on track. It keeps you on budget and it keeps your team focused. Let me repeat it. It keeps you on budget. It keeps you on track. It keeps your team focused. It keeps you focused. And so there is so much of that goes in. Priscilla asked me a question. Thank you, Priscilla, for asking this question. How much mind works to improve business strategy? Very, very good question. Your mindset, the work that you have to do on your mental resilience, uh, your knowledge, understanding, all of that. It takes a lot. When it comes to strategy, if you don't know anything about strategy, one of the things I would start telling you to do is look to those who are in strategy. If you have a specific question about business strategy, Priscilla, please ask so then I can answer it. But if you're like this question that you're asking is a little bit general in terms of the mind work. So in terms of the mind work, yes, you have to invest time in studying, gaining the knowledge and understanding business strategy. Um, and at the same time, you would need support. So if you're good with business and you understand the strategy, then great. Then, but you still need a mentor because you're looking to be able to scale. I can give an example, and I hope this can help you. If not, please let me know. When I first started the business initially, I was not looking at strategy. I was just looking at selling books, right? And then, of course, the work that I was doing because I was working and doing the speaking and the workshop for leadership, doing it for some nonprofits as well as for some businesses. So my business strategy piece, although I had it in place, um, I was like, how big did I want it to grow? uh, did I want to work in corporate? Like I was looking at it from that perspective. That I just want to be in a corporate space versus having my own business? But when I decided that yes, this is a business and that I'm going to work, although I have the experience and the training and all of those things when it comes to the strategy, then I had to sit down and look at how is this business going to impact and influence others? That was one of the biggest things. The other question that I had to also look at and reinvent, and each year it expands. For example, in 2024, so there you go, in 2024, I had to look at how can we make money? But before I could even look at that, like even though we're making money, how can it be sustainable? How can I have like a certain amount of revenue? When I say money, like I'm looking at revenue aspect of it. So you're still getting the clients, right? The revenue piece. I'm also looking at my impact. What is it? Because we are a social impact business. So what is the social impact that we're going to be having? Then I also had to look at where are we at? What service am I providing? What is the value that we have? And all of these areas might just seem really simple and easy, right? Like I wanted to increase revenue. I wanted um, to expand our reach through our impact, through our influence, even though we were already doing this on a smaller scale, but now to expand it. And then I had to have the right team. I had to work with people who I'm working with right now who are able to understand that vision and able to do the work. They have to be able to put in the work. And I would tell you, it takes uh, um, a team, a strong team to be able to put in the work when it comes to applying your strategy. Because uh, although you have your, for example, 90-day plan, there are things that will happen, hiccups will happen, you will see certain things, and you have to be able to adjust and pivot. So they need to be innovative. You need to be innovative. You need to be flexible. You need to have knowledge, right? I'm always learning continuously. I'm always learning about something continuously. I'm always trying to understand something and apply it in real time to see how it works, to understand what the ROI is. And I find that when I do that, it helps the business. It helps me even more. And what I've also found is as I have done that and I've improved my business, my strategy and my strategic approach, and the team is on board and we're all learning and growing. And of course, we're good at what we do or else we wouldn't be doing it. It becomes easier for us to hit our targets all the time. It's easier for us to know that this ROI will be achieved. There's no question or doubt about it. And then that allows me now in 2025, right? So that was 2024. Now in 2025 to go into new levels and in new spaces that I didn't have the opportunity previously to go into. So yes, I hope that answered your question. I hope my example made sense to you. If not, please ask a different question, but please let me know. Okay. Also, for anyone that's tuned in, if you have a question, please let me know. If you have a comment, if you have uh, experience with this as well, definitely, I very much appreciate it that you're here. And yeah, don't forget, stay tuned to the end because you will. I have a special announcement for you guys. Very special announcement. Now, for quarter two, in quarter two, now that you have reinvented your vision, you have this new innovative style and way. In the second half of the year, the second season of the year, now you want to optimize your operations, your processes for efficiency, and you want smoother scalability. Now, that means you have to have a strong team. The first quarter of the year, really, it is making sure everyone is aligned and on the same page. People need to be that. You need to understand what's going on in the market. You need to understand if you're going the organic reach approach, how long is this going to take? Why is it going to take that? Who is in your contacts? What networks do you have? How can you best, like, how is leveraging someone else's audience and someone leveraging your audience? How is this benefiting you? There are all of these various factors that you have to think about. The other piece is that now you also have to think about your team going along with you and actually understanding their role, their position, the importance and the value. Because this one person that is doing this one thing in your business is affecting every single area of the business. I'll repeat that. That one person that is doing the one thing, it could be email campaigns, for example. It could just be them answering the phones. I don't like whatever it is that that one person is doing, they are affecting every single area of the business, knowingly and or unknowingly. And I would say this to my team, very, very much so. I remember in the beginning stages, sometimes because I have various people working on various things on the team. Obviously, I have a bigger team. They were so focused on this one, like, this is what I'm doing, that I had to take time and moment and step back and say, listen, yes, you are doing, for example, email marketing. You're doing email marketing, great, but that email marketing is affecting every single thing else. It's affecting the social media. It's affecting the blog. It's affecting everything. So what you write, how things are presented matters, because whatever else is going out there, when someone comes back to our website or comes to our channel and they're signing up to the email list. So someone's putting out a post, for example, someone's representing us at a pop-up location, or we're selling our product. I'm going on stage, me going on stage speaking, my daughter Faith going on stage speaking, the podcast, all of these little things affect, for example, our email marketing. And it does because people are signing up to be on our email list. They're signing up to be on our email list so they can get the information that they need. They can know what the upcoming courses are, and so on and so forth. So it isn't just someone just sitting there saying, I'm going to type out, 4 emails, and then that's what's going on for the month. Sometimes that can work in the beginning stages, but now that you've been in business for a few years, 5 years or more, it takes a bit more than that. And you have to put in, there's a whole strategy and a thought process. This is why some people, when they are email marketing specialists, they can charge you $3, $4, $5,000, if not more, a month, because their campaigns are producing the ROIs that it needs. However, if you're not working with someone that's and having the contact list and doing all of that intense work, then the team that you're working with, that, they all have to recognize that everything that they put out there impacts and affect people coming to sign up for the list, right? You have to make it desirable and you're selling it. So back to quarter two. How do we optimize our operations and our processes? Well, now you got to get systems in place. You have to get systems in place, and you can't only focus on the systems for your finance or for the sales part. A lot of people focus only on the sales part. There's nothing wrong with that. It's great. But you have to look at every single system. Anyone doing anything. That one person or two people that's doing your emails, do they have a system? Is there a flow? Is there a sequence? Does it work? Financially, does it make sense for us to be part of it, to be using whatever email uh, campaign stuff that's available, or email app, right? Does that make sense logically for the long term and the short term, so that you can actually get the results that you're looking for? When it comes to efficiency, you have to understand, how long is it taking people to do the work? Are you using AI? And if you are using AI, how are you balancing that with that human connection? Because it's great to just say you're pumping out a whole bunch of information. We have AI, it makes it easy, but you have to also have a human eye checking that, double checking that. And the reason why you have to have someone double checking and triple checking it is because it may not have the value concept. Now it's more generic. It's producing like a generic thing, unless you've tailored it accordingly, to sound a bit like you, to produce the value that you want it to produce with the AI, right? And now you have to understand, okay, how much am I paying for this? If I'm paying for this and I have a human person here, how is this going to merge? How can this be most effective? I'm helping the human, yes, the person that's working with you, right, your team member, but at the same time, you're depending on which program you're using for AI, you have to understand the effects that it's going to have as well. All of these things are streamlined, and it's important, but you have to think about it. And then you also have to think about your financial commitment to this. And on top of that, you also have to think about, what is my ROI? What am I going to get from this? And it's important for you, especially when you're trying to optimize and become more efficient. It is very important for you to sit with the team member, the person, right? Your team, whoever's working on whatever it is that they're working on, and ask them the question, what do you need? I want to get to Z. Right now, we haven't even started at A. How do we get from A to Z? What would we need? And so when you have that, it becomes easier for you to now start optimizing and implementing systems and operations in your business to support your team, so you can be more effective, thereby giving you the opportunity to produce more value. A great example of this is networking. Very, very simple, right? For everyone that's tuning in, before I give this example, thank you so much for tuning in. We're at 290 people, and so I appreciate it so much for being here. Ask questions if you have any questions, okay? Leave a comment if you have a comment. But a great example is networking. Now, I remember last year, their business was fine. We have great engagement. I'm getting on phone calls. I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to do. I was on podcast and doing, some media stuff. But I also recognized that something was lacking. Like, I wanted to be in a different area, in a different level in business. And so, of course, networking is a big part of it. Well, as you guys know, not all networking is created equal, right? And so depending on the space that you are in, maybe it might be your ideal audience, perhaps it is not, But this is where I had to learn how to be very, very careful. I had to pay attention now to what am I paying for? Why am I paying for it? How is this benefiting me? And how am I providing value? Those are the four things that I had to look at. And when I looked at that, then I had to become exceptionally strategic, right? I had to watch and I had to think about the why. Why am I here? What value can I give? And how is this benefiting me in some ways? And so, although I've joined networking groups, it's very small, but the impact and the influence and the level that I'm at is expanded. It's increased. It's a bit, it's different. It's another level than where I was before, which is really great because now the people that I'm in the room with, a lot of them has a whole lot more experience than I have. They're far smarter than I am, and I am so happy for that, right? Because, and the reason why I'm happy for that is because, well, I'm getting to learn, but I'm still being able to produce value, and I can still have the impact that I need, actually a greater impact, and I'm getting to meet the people in industry that I need to meet to be able to share my mission and my message. And so I just use networking as an example. And I also mentioned AI to you guys as well. So you have to think strategically, what do you need in each season to streamline and optimize? And I know a lot of the times everyone's just saying, yes, you need to have a VA. And yeah, you need a VA. Yes, you need support and all of those things. But you have to think. You have to think critically. You have to think strategically. You have to understand where it is that you want to be and why you want to be there. It's just a fact. Like, there's just that. All right. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Any questions, please feel free to ask. And at the same time, if you have any comments, please comment pertaining to business leadership blueprint, pertaining to what you need to do to become unstoppable as an entrepreneur for your success in 2025. And that's great. Mhm. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing this. She said great insights, the blueprint. Absolutely. And I hope you guys all stay tuned at the end. I have a very special surprise for you guys. And it is absolutely going to be worth it. It's so much value. I worked exceptionally hard on this. And you would be able to work on everything that we've talked about today. You will have that blueprint that you're going to need to be able to support your business. Emily. Oh, hi, Emily. Thank you for tuning in. How important is networking for business? Exceptionally important. I cannot stress that enough. Networking has transformed my business, and the network that I'm in transformed my business. So one of the things that I will say to you, Emily, I don't know where you are in your business. I'm not sure how long you've been in business, and or what level of networking you've been in. But what I will share is that when you take the time to understand where you want to be in your business, as well as who you want to have as allies. Um, People don't really like to use that word, but really it is. It's, their friends, allies, connections that you're making when you're networking. Then you would know which group you want to be in and which networking sphere you need to be in. Because, and of course, you also have to look at the benefits, because there's some networking groups that you pay for, but then if you want media exposure or this or that, they're charging you all of these ridiculous amounts of money. And sometimes it's helpful, but other times it's not. Versus perhaps you have your local networking group or or government group or your chamber of commerce, for example, um, if you go there, you will get the most bang for your buck. I would say so. You have a chamber of commerce, you go there, you have the opportunity not only to connect with government officials, business people, um, and new entrepreneurs, but then you can also expand your business because you can promote on their site as a member, right? Now you can promote your stuff. If they need speaking, you're right there, which makes you desirable, right? To other people who may need your service, who may need the value that you could produce. It also opens you up to lead generation because now you are in a list, for example, and I'm just using a chamber of commerce, for example. Now you're part of a group of, I don't know, 100,000 people, 60,000 people, a million people. I don't know how many people would be in your chamber of commerce, depending on if you're doing a local chamber of commerce, your state chamber of commerce, your national chamber of commerce. So, depending on where you're going, I would say start off small and grow because when you start small and then you start to expand, it becomes a lot easier for you to maintain and for you to find and have the clarity that you need to get the direction that you're looking for, as well as to find mentors because when you're part of these groups, now you're working with other people and you're around other people who has been in the game for however long and have a whole vast amount of experience. Maybe financially, they have achieved what it is that you're looking to achieve. And so this is where now in these spaces you can get mentorship essentially for free because you can pick up the phone, call them, or send them an email, or get to know them, and you could ask questions because you guys are in the same community, you're in the same group, right? And so that's the value of networking for your business because then you're also getting referrals. They will refer you if you're making, I don't know, paper or t-shirts, for example. The first person they will come to is you. And with Chamber of Commerce, it doesn't matter wherever in the world you are, they will go to who they know. They start off with people with who they know. So they need t-shirts done for whatever government event that's happening, or maybe a business that a big 500 Fortune company is part of that. They need T-shirts. This is just an example. They will look within their community that they're part of to be able to help them and to support them. So that is a huge value uh, for networking. Another question. So I hope that answers. Thank you. Which do you consider more important, social media or person? You mean for networking, doing social media or in person? Uh, I prefer in person networking. Personally, I prefer that. But if you're going to do like networking via like a Zoom call or you're virtually, if you're doing a virtual networking, I would suggest going with a smaller group because if you're in a bigger group, for example, with networking, it's hard to get your voice out there and get people to kind of know you. Not that it just becomes harder. That's just how it is. Like if you're doing it virtually, but if you're virtually and it's in a smaller group, then it's easier to connect. It's easier um, to get to know people, to meet people, to you guys can exchange numbers, maybe have your own one-on-one virtual call or meet in person. If you're doing an in-person event, depending on how big it is and what you're doing, you're just like, I don't know if you're an introvert, an extrovert, or um, your state in terms of that. But I prefer in person because you get to meet people, you get to see their mannerisms, you get to look into their eyes, You get to hear their voice. You get to see their body reactions. And all of these things, we start playing off of each other. You get to know there's that instant connection. Um, and then another part of being in person is that generally they're going to be in your same community, in the same area as you. They live in, essentially the same city or surrounding city. So it really just depends. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you guys so much for your questions, for your comments. If you have any other questions or comments, please please ask. Don't forget, stay to the end. They said I have a really great, really, really great surprise for you guys. And I thank you for taking the time for being here. There's so many of you, went up to over 300 people tuning in. So thank you so much. Quarter three, now you're looking at developing leadership and empowering your teams to drive sustained business growth. So develop your leadership and empower your team. How do you do that? Yeah, how do you do that? Step one, you got to figure out where your team is at. Step two, you need to know and have that vision of where you are going. This includes yourself. A lot of times we're thinking about teams, we're thinking about other people. We have to think about ourselves. How is my leadership? How is my growth? How am I working well with others or not working well with others, regardless if you're the boss or not, right? You have to also look at the leadership and the growth that you need for yourself. Um, and so developing the leadership aspect of it is you have to sit down and talk to people. Yes, yes, you do. Nod yes. You have to understand where they are at mentally. You have to recognize and understand how to healthily challenge other people. I know people don't like to hear that word, healthily challenging, but you do. You have to healthily challenge your team members. You need to push them up just a little bit beyond their comfort zone, not to burn them out or stress them out, but to help build them up. Give them fortitude. They have a strong mind. Ensure that they are capable of actually doing the work, part of the leadership, that continuous learning piece. Perhaps AI is brand new to some people. I don't, and they're not as skilled in it. Well, hey, go take a course. Make sure that they're doing the training that's needed, and then start applying it. But at the same time, recognize that as they start implementing AI, maybe it's super new to them. As they start implementing AI, have realistic expectations. Be realistic and know that it's not going to be, what Elon Musk is doing, right? Like, be realistic with that and recognize how to encourage. How does this person thrive? You have to know, how does this person thrive under pressure? How is this person in their everyday role? These questions are essential for you to know, essential for you to ask, so that as you're developing your team and you're strengthening and you're empowering them, you know how to be you know how to give them what they need so that they can thrive and they're not being burnt out. And nobody wants to be burnt out, stressed out, overwhelmed, overworked. I don't want that. I don't want anyone on my team like that. And so taking the time to understand and asking the questions. And similarly, if you have a team member, sometimes, especially in these times, a lot of people don't necessarily want to ask questions. They want to tell you. Like, like I find it always interesting to me. They want to tell you, these are my rights and this is what I'm for. I'm like, okay, great. Thank you for letting me know this. But then when it comes to them asking questions and how to do something, people generally don't want to ask questions. And I don't understand why. So you got to make it, open for them to recognize that they're allowed to ask questions. If you don't know something, ask. No one's going to get mad at you. No one's going to be angry. Just ask. That's it. Just ask the question. Because when they feel comfortable with asking, then things just flow more smoother. It becomes easier. If they don't understand, maybe they know what they want to do, but they don't understand like one or two areas of something, That's okay. Explain it. Be understanding in the explanation. And then also ask, hey, do you need additional training with something? There's nothing wrong with it. I don't know why people try to shy away from that, but there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I'm still doing training. I still do training to this day. Every day, I'm reading something every single day. I'm working on something every single day. I'm working on communication. I'm working on leadership. I'm working on strategy. I am taking the time to be mentored. I'm understanding all of these different things and areas and skills so that I can be better. And I want to be better so that I can be better serve you. I can better serve clients. Um, I can have the impact that is needed, the impact that is needed so that people are actually seeing the changes, the transformation that is needed. If you come to me for one thing, you should leave and feel satisfied. Yes, okay, I got what I came for, right? You wanted to be on, for example, on the podcast. Great, you got what you came for, and you're happy with the results. You're happy with the ROI. You come to me to coach you as a strategist to come into your business and guide you with your business as a strategist, then I want to be able to give you the value that you need so that your business can not only 10x, but 100x. It's important to me. It's important to me because I value you. I value what you're doing in your service. Similarly, I value myself. I value myself. I value the work that I do. I value the impact that we're having because I understand and I recognize it. And finally, in the fourth quarter, you want to also reflect on the year's performance. You want to refine strategies and prepare for the future to maintain momentum. I want to share with you that although this is broken up into quarters, this is an ongoing evergreen process. It's ongoing, it's organic, it's also evergreen because it's not going anywhere, right? It's always going to be there. The only thing that you're doing is evolving. You're growing at each stage and at each section. So in the fourth quarter, we're saying, okay, we're going to refine and reflect, but really, you're still refining and you're reflecting in your first quarter, especially towards the end of the first quarter, when things are perhaps you're putting in a new project or a new area of the business. There's that level of expansion, and you've grown. Well, in saying that, if things have worked or not worked, you still have to refine the process. You have to look at, okay, if we're going to continue this for the year, what's our goal for next year? So you have it. It's that whole evergreen, not evergreen, sorry, that whole organic process, because you're not just stopping in the first quarter and starting something new. It's just an expansion of it. It's like going to school. Like when we went to school and you were learning to read. Before you learn to read, you have to learn the letters. You have to learn to say the ABCs. And then after you learn how to sing ABC or say ABC, then you have to learn the letter sounds. And after the letter sounds, then you started joining the letters together to make words. And then after you started learning words, now you can start putting it into sentence. The dog went up the hill. And from that process, then you're going to be reading from one line to two lines, like on the same page, and you're learning about grammar, the period, the question mark, the exclamation mark, the comma, the quotations, what all these things mean. You're learning about nouns and verbs and adjectives and adverbs, right? It expands, but you're still learning to read, but it started at one space. It's the same thing with your business, especially with this blueprint and for the leadership, right? Yes, I have it separated into quarters, so it makes it easier for you to understand the flow and the sequence. But please understand that every part is an expansion. So you're not stopping at one quarter. It's going to continue on. And then after, let's say the first quarter, this was the focus here. You're continuing on with this. We're adding something. We're expanding. And this is going to benefit your business. This is what's going to help it grow. And then towards the end of the year, you're refining, you're reflecting, you're doing all of those things, yes. But the main piece of it is because you've done the work in refining at each quarter in the first 3 quarters, anyways, then it becomes easier for you to already have your vision and your expanded vision for the following year. So I hope that makes sense to all of you guys. And that you understand the value of your leadership blueprint, because you can't do it alone. You need your team to understand and be part of that vision and part of that process. I gave some really, really great examples. I thought it was some good examples. At the same time, it's not only your team that's going to need this, it's you. You also need this. You need to apply this to your business as well. You need to apply it to not your business, but to yourself, I should say. You need to apply it to yourself. I have to apply a lot of things to myself. I take the time to understand what is required of something and the demands of something, because when I understand, for me, when I understand what is required, what the demands are, what is needed, and the sacrifice of time that needs to go into it, it makes me more understanding and empathetic towards my team. Because then I would already have like an outline or a breakdown already of, okay, this person is capable of this. This is what they're qualified to do. This is the what I'm going to see. But I don't just jump in and like just throw it all in. It's like, okay, let me see you work first. Let's start on something small and then we grow. We grow, we grow, we grow. Same thing, but we grow, we grow, we grow. So then they get used to me, my expectations, what's needed. And at the same time, they're starting to gain their own confidence within themselves to recognize that they can actually produce and produce the ROIs that's expected. So we have reached the end of our time together. Thank you guys so much, especially those on YouTube, for not only tuning in, but for asking these incredible questions. I really appreciate it. And I want to share, I ask you guys to all stay till the end. And it's to let you know that, yes, I have a free resource for this. That's your thing. Get a free resource, free business leadership blueprint. It goes into detail. It gives you the outline so that not only do you have this video that you can use on replay, but you have a ebook that you can actually have. You can open it and you can start implementing it in real time. I also have a blog talking about this business leadership blueprint, so that, if you need it as a reference. And I did this because I recognize that when I am on here and I'm having interviews and I'm talking about B2B, what I'm realizing is that, yes, people are tuning in and they're asking questions, but when you leave here, I wanted to make sure that you have the value as well. I wanted to make sure that you have something that you could take that's tangible with you. So it's not just from listening to it, which is great, and I want you guys to keep listening to it, but also you have an ebook so that you can look to and refer to and print out and put notes in, or use it as a template. Use it as a template for yourself. Use it as a template in your business, and then start putting in the ROIs and for the expectations. Some people may not fully understand that or think like it's necessary, but it is. Your numbers matter. The stats, the analytics, all of these things, it matters because it will help. It helps you to thrive. It helps you to grow. It helps you to be successful. It helps. Okay? So thank you guys so very, very much for being here, for showing up live on New Year's Day with me. Um, Thank you, Emily. Yes, you are welcome, Emily. Um, uh, I'm so honored that that you guys were here today, that I could answer all of your questions that you have and that you had for me. Don't forget to watch the replay, and also don't forget that to DM me, send me a message if you want the blueprint. It is available in my shop on my website. You just go to the shop. It's a free resource. You could download it and it's there for you. Have an incredible day. Have an incredible new year. And I look forward to hearing and seeing all of your wonderful, ginormous progress in 2025. Bye, everyone.